Hello and welcome to The Power of Three and the Haunted Story for April 22nd, 2023. I'm behind and my voice sounds a little funny. I had a self-induced laryngitis yesterday, could hardly talk at all, so I'm behind on what I normally would have done this on Thursday night for yesterday, and I would be having done the love bomb, which I did not do yesterday, and today I would be doing the hocus pocus, but I had to kind of just rest my voice. You guys wouldn't have, it would have been very annoying, and I hope that this isn't going to be annoying for you, my voice, but I'll try to just talk in a certain tone so it doesn't do that. Yeah, guys, hit the like button to support the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. I try to do these weekly, and what it is a haunted story reading. So for the majority of you, that's what it will be, a haunted story. But somebody out there will resonate with this somewhere in the world, whether they get to actually hear this message and, you know, receive this message from God. I don't know. But it's, I think the other purpose behind these really is to remind you that this does go on. Okay, people do deal with these kind of things. So, yeah, for the most part, it is entertainment, but you know, these things do really happen. So let's bear that in mind. We've got a whole different setup here with decks. I'm going to be using my decks, both of them, the Horror Tarot and the Haunted House. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't get a closing deck. Well, I'm trying to see if I've got anything in front of me that would do, but I don't see anything. Hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go see what I should have grabbed earlier. I'm so sorry about this. We'll just grab this one. Messages from the guides. That was awesome too. Get my face off the light. Totally awesome. All right. I could rewind this, but why bother, right? You might as well just see life the way it is. I don't usually forget, but I did. All right, so we have an overall energy here to get started. I'll let you know exactly what I'm using here too for the overall. Anyway, sorry it's a bit disheveled, and so is my voice, but it's probably going to be really good, so let's get started. Ask and it shall be given you. That's from our Heavenly Father for our haunted story reading. It comes from Matthew chapter 7 verse 7. This is very odd, but they're saying that our main character here, our main person in the overall energies, happens to have the name Matthew, which is odd. Anyway, it comes from chapter 7 verse 7. Ask and it shall be given you. So that starts off the problem right there, because our main person here got exactly what they wanted from the dark mirror. And this is our Matthew, okay? Addicted to many things, but I feel the main thing that he asked for, he got, but now he's chained to it. He's addicted to it, and it's not turned out to be what he thought. The supporting energy comes from the Moonology deck, and we got adjustments are required, third quarter moon. What also came through here immediately when I looked at this card was adjustments were required. But you see how there's a darkness there. There's something shadowing the moon there. I'm trying to see what it is. It looks like there's something there, but there isn't. It's just like the darkness taking over the moon, and I feel like that's what happened. There came a point in time in Matthew's existence where adjustments were required. But the darkness overcame the moon. So, excuse me, we're using the power of 3D 5D to get things started. So let's see what comes out about our named person here, named Matthew, which is weird. One out already. I was murdered and I want justice. Okay, and this is how we're doing it this time. So now that we have that out, we're going to put one on the 3D 5D volume 2. I was murdered and I want justice. Why was he murdered? Why were you murdered? Please clarify. The letter B. The letter B. So that could be the initial of the murderer, is what they're saying. All right, let's bounce back to the 3D 5D. What else do we need to know? I was in my 70s. And from the volume 2. Please clarify, I was in my 70s. There we go. The letter R. So we could be trying to, it could be first initial, last initial for the last name, you know. It could be like, you know, Ben, you know, Rainey or something like that. That could be the name. Or you could be trying to spell out, you know, like it could be the name Brian or something like that. I feel like these are the initials of the murderer. Because we know we have a name Matthew here, so let's see, we'll get one more set here. What else for our haunted story reading? I was murdered and I want justice with the letter B. There we go. When I passed, there was no light. And let's get one from the volume 2, please. When I passed, there was no light. And believe it or not, there's like, look, like there's writing in this deck. Let me just show you, because I got another letter, S. Letter S. Sin. Because of sin, there was no light. Evil soul out of revenge at the bottom of that deck, which is the one that all the letters came out of. So there is ones with, it's not all letters. Okay, so we have BRS. I was murdered and I want justice, the letter B. I was in my 70s, the letter R. When I passed, there was no light, with the letter S, which I believe stands for sin. But what does the B and the R stand for? Let's grab the Haunted House Tarot and see what comes out. For our haunted story for April 22nd. April 22nd, 2023. Please clarify. I was murdered and I want justice, with the letter B. Eight of Wands. There's a lot of, this is movement. Okay. They're saying that the B stands for barn. Person was either murdered in the barn and moved out, or they were murdered and moved into the barn to be hidden. Or it could stand for bar, like being out in a bar. See what comes out with I was in my 70s. So it's kind of hard to see a 70-year-old in a bar, right? So that's why first what came through was barn. You know what I mean? Like living on a farm and you have a barn that's, 300 feet away, or, you know what I mean? Like, I was in my 70s with the letter R. King of Wands. Okay. This last one here, when I passed, there was no light, with the S, which I feel stands for sin. That's why there was no light. I was in my 70s with the letter R. I feel like we had someone that was addicted to, oh boy. I feel like we had and we're going back, okay? So this isn't turning out to be like a live person now dealing with a dead person. This is all about the person that is no longer, but why they remain. A lost soul. An evil soul out for revenge. They were murdered because of their nasty deeds. Okay, they were a known rapist. That's what the R stands for. They got away with it for a long time and just got addicted to it. They were given a place, like a farm, that was way out, kind of remote. So this is where things went on. But justice came at some point. Let's see what comes out with when I passed, there was no light because of sin. King of Swords. I feel like this is a different character, a much younger character. I feel like this is somebody that lives fairly close and has always been one of the people that suspected the behavior and the goings on at this farm. And maybe one day they went looking around and they found what they were looking for, and they were able to sneak up on this Matthew character and stop him from what he was about to do to his next victim. Bottom of the deck, Three of Wands. Absolutely picking up on the energy of getting there in the nick of time, saving her in the nick of time. Realizing that they need to follow up on those instincts and go take a look around, because maybe somebody that our King of Swords here knows, somebody that they know went missing, and they were not going to rest until they looked somewhere where they suspected this to be going on. Quite an interesting haunted story here. Let's kind of fine-tune this now with the Horror Tarot. Horror Tarot. I don't know why that's a mouthful for me. Hard to say. It sounds like it sounds funny when I'm saying it. All right, let's get one out here on Addicted with Adjustments Are Required. See, what he was addicted to was the, he was like, you know, somebody that kidnapped a girl, took her back there, tortured her, raped her, or whatever, and then disposed of the body somewhere. Wow. Addicted with Adjustments Are Required. This is the, what the heck? Seven of Swords. The adjustments required too, what they're saying is it's kind of funny too, because if you look at the Addicted, okay, this Matthew character, who ended up meeting his demise by being taken out by somebody that was saving his victim, he had to lie a lot. He had to cover up a lot for a long time. He was addicted and got away with this. Like, this guy had a list of victims, like all those knives in the back there. He'd done a lot of damage. That's why it wasn't a crime. He was saving someone's life. This King of Swords, our King of Swords, was saving the latest victim's life. By taking out this serial rapist, killer, liar, lying to the town, lying to the neighbors, lying to people every day. Every time he saw people carrying on a facade like he knew nothing, when he was actually the one responsible for the missing girls in the town. Wow. All right, let's clarify the Eight of Wands. I was murdered and I want justice. That's why he's an evil soul out on the rampage, see? Because he got took out. He got stopped finally. But he didn't like that so much. So now he's on the other side. And more evil than he was when he was alive. Eight of Wands. He might still loom around on the other side, torturing victims, just in a different way now. And this is hard to read. Seven of Pentacles. Another seven. Yeah, always moving around, looking for his next victim, even still on the other side. And he's taken out, like, these tombstones are his victims from when he was alive. So they're on the other side. He's on the other side, and he's worse now than he was when he was alive. But, you know, whether these victims passed into the light, I don't know. King of Wands. I was in my 70s with the letter R and the King of Wands. And we have the Hermit. Like I said, he had the perfect place to, you know, once he got his victims back to his place, people couldn't hear them. And if they could, it was so faint that they, you know, most of the time people didn't hear it. And except for this King of Swords, he might have lived close enough that every once in a while he did hear something weird, and he just got a weird vibe, I think, from it, from this place and this and our Matthew character, our villain. He was a hermit, but even hermits have to come out and pay their bills and do their groceries and whatever and deal with people, right? When he did, he was always lying to people and keeping away from people as much as possible and carrying out his deeds up until the age of 70 years old. And this King of Swords was much younger, smarter, and had a feeling that there was something not right. So he went, thank God, and was snooping around and ended up saving his next victim's life by taking our villain out. When I passed, there was no light with the letter S and the King of Swords. And we have the Queen of Cups. So this was probably his victim that was saved. And she's probably forever grateful and feels much love to her King of Swords for coming in and rescuing her, because he cared enough to go and look. He cared enough to go and snoop around. He cared enough to go and investigate something that didn't feel right, didn't look right, there was just something telling him to go and look. And he did, and thank God he saved her. Bottom of this deck is Ten of Pentacles. See, our villain had a lot of money. A lot of money. So he was able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Fund his addiction. All right. Well, I'm going to get us a message from the guides to close this haunted story out safely and just give you guys something to take away from our haunted story. For the collective's highest good. And to close out our haunted story for April 2022. Not April 2022. It's April 22nd. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's April 22nd, 2023. Wow. What is the closing advice from the guides for our haunted story, please? Appreciate your talents. Appreciate your talents. This is for our King of Swords that followed his instincts, swallowed down any fear or anxiety from going around, you know, trespassing on someone who creeped him out and knew he was possibly up to some no good. And he creeped around at the right place at the right time. It's awesome. And I'm sure the Queen that he saved, the Queen of Cups that he saved, also appreciates his talents, the smarts, right? Instincts, knowing how to follow them. Well, this is our haunted story for April. Again, sorry about my voice, but it is getting better. Yeah, this was a pretty interesting haunted story. I'm glad to know that our character's reign of terror finally came to an end, at least in on this side of things anyway. But I'm going to leave it there. Guys, if you enjoy these haunted stories, please remember to smash that like button. It's free. And subscribe if you haven't. That's also free. And I do appreciate the support. And yeah, leave a comment if you like and let me know what you think of the haunted stories. And I'll see you again for the next one. Till I do, stay in God's light and enjoy His peace. Bye for now.